Have you ever wondered why your veins don't seem to wake up the way they used to? Many men over 60 are told to drizzle olive oil on everything for heart health. But the truth is, using olive oil alone can actually slow blood flow. The real magic happens only when you combine it with one simple kitchen acid that improves circulation in minutes. I'm Dr. Barbara O'Neill, a clinician with more than 40 years working with men's cardiovascular health. Tell me where you're watching from and gently tap like and subscribe. When I sit down with men in their 60s, one question always comes up. Why does my body feel slower now even though I'm eating right? The truth is, it's not just about your heart, it's about the highways inside you, your blood vessels. After 60, those vessels start to lose their bounce. The smooth, flexible lining that once allowed blood to surge easily begins to stiffen. This happens because the body produces less nitric oxide, a natural gas that tells your arteries to relax. Without enough of it, blood struggles to reach where it's needed most: your hands, your brain, and yes, your sexual organs. Many men mistake this for just getting older, but age itself isn't the culprit. The hidden enemy is micro-inflammation, a slow burn that comes from decades of stress, processed foods, and poor sleep. These tiny inflammations build plaque and reduce the elasticity of your arteries. Imagine a garden hose left out in the sun for years. It becomes rigid and narrow. That's what's happening inside your body. And as that happens, your energy dips, your recovery slows, and your confidence quietly erodes. Now, here's the part most people never hear. Blood flow issues are reversible. Your arteries can actually regain flexibility if you give them the right fuel. That's why some men feel decades younger after small changes. When circulation improves, you don't just move better, you think clearer, sleep deeper, and feel more alive. I've seen men who could barely walk to the mailbox begin cycling again, all from targeting this one root cause. You might already be using olive oil, thinking it's the golden ticket. And yes, olive oil is powerful. It's anti-inflammatory and rich in antioxidants. But if you've been relying on it alone, that could be the reason you're not seeing the blood flow improvements you hoped for. Fat can nourish your cells, but it doesn't activate nitric oxide. It can't open those arteries by itself. So the question becomes, what's missing? What simple kitchen ingredient can unlock the full potential of olive oil and reignite circulation naturally? The answer is surprisingly simple and may already be sitting in your pantry. In the next chapter, I'll show you exactly what it is and why using it alongside olive oil can transform blood flow faster than you think. Stay with me because this next part changes everything. You've probably heard it 100 times. Just use olive oil, it's the healthiest fat. And yes, olive oil is incredible. I've recommended it for decades because it's rich in antioxidants and monounsaturated fats that reduce oxidative stress. That stress, caused by unstable molecules called free radicals, damages blood vessel walls over time. Olive oil acts like a gentle shield, calming that internal storm and lowering inflammation. It's one of the reasons Mediterranean men often have such long, heart-healthy lives. But here's the part most people don't realize. Olive oil alone doesn't open your arteries. You can protect the walls all you want, but if the pipes stay tight and narrow, blood can't rush through. It's like polishing a rusty hose. It might look cleaner, but the flow remains weak. The problem isn't the oil, it's that monounsaturated fat works as a protector, not an activator. It doesn't trigger the biochemical reactions that tell your blood vessels to relax. I've seen many men over 50 doing everything right. They eat salmon, use extra virgin olive oil, take their walks, and yet they still feel cold hands, slower mornings, or weaker performance in the bedroom. They ask, "Doc, why am I not seeing results?" The answer often lies here. Olive oil fights inflammation, but it doesn't spark nitric oxide, the molecule your body desperately needs to restore strong circulation. Without that spark, your arteries remain half asleep. So while you're eating clean, your body may still be missing that vital signal to open up those vessels and let life-giving oxygen flood your muscles and organs. It's not your fault. This is the missing link nutrition science often glosses over. You need something acidic, something that wakes up your endothelium, that thin inner layer of your blood vessels, and tells it to start producing nitric oxide again. That's the real key to better blood flow, sharper focus, and renewed energy. In my practice, once men understand that olive oil is the foundation but not the trigger, things begin to change quickly. Because when you add the right partner ingredient, you suddenly activate a biological chain reaction that's been dormant for years. Your vessels dilate, your energy rises, your blood pressure starts to normalize, and you begin to feel the difference within days, not months. So yes, keep using olive oil, but remember it's only half of the equation. The real transformation happens when you pair it with a natural, tangy catalyst, something that's likely sitting in your kitchen right now. In the next chapter, I'll show you what that ingredient is and why combining it with olive oil creates a surge of blood flow most men haven't felt in years. Here's where the real magic begins. When you add vinegar, that simple, tangy liquid most of us overlook, something powerful happens inside your body. Vinegar, especially apple cider or red wine vinegar, triggers an increase in nitric oxide production. This tiny gas molecule is your body's natural expander. It signals your arteries to relax and widen, allowing blood to flow freely again. For men over 50, that means warmer hands and feet, steadier energy, clearer thinking, and stronger performance where it matters most. You can feel the difference sometimes within hours, not weeks. So how does it work? Vinegar contains acetic acid, and this acid interacts directly with your endothelial cells, the delicate lining of your blood vessels. It improves their responsiveness, almost like oiling a stiff hinge. When nitric oxide levels rise, blood pressure begins to drop naturally. Your vessels open wider, circulation improves, and oxygen delivery to your muscles and brain increases. That's why after a meal that includes vinegar, you might feel lighter, more alert, and less sluggish. It's your circulation waking up. Now let's talk practicality. You don't need much. Just 1 to 2 teaspoons of vinegar mixed in water before meals can be enough to kickstart these benefits. For men dealing with elevated blood pressure, insulin resistance, or sluggish energy, this tiny habit can create real physiological change. But remember, more isn't better. Too much vinegar can irritate your stomach or enamel. Always dilute it and never take it straight from the bottle. For those with reflux or kidney issues, start slow. A teaspoon in a full glass of water is a safe place to begin. Here's a tip from years of experience. The timing matters. Taking vinegar before a meal helps stabilize blood sugar, which keeps inflammation down and maintains healthy arteries. Combine it with a drizzle of olive oil on your salad, or sip a diluted mix about 15 minutes before you eat. That pairing, healthy fat plus gentle acid, mirrors how traditional Mediterranean diets have supported vascular health for centuries. When I first introduced this protocol to my older patients, they often came back amazed. "Doc, my hands aren't cold anymore. My energy doesn't crash after lunch." It wasn't a supplement, a pill, or a gimmick, just real food chemistry working in their favor. Vinegar is nature's activator. It tells your arteries it's time to wake up and move. But as with everything in nature, quality and type matter. Some vinegars can heal, others can harm if overused or overly processed. And that's exactly what we'll uncover next. Which vinegars truly boost your circulation and which ones you should absolutely avoid. Not all vinegars are created equal. And that's where many men miss the mark. Some varieties can strengthen your arteries and hormones, while others can quietly sabotage your progress. Let's start with the champion, apple cider vinegar. This is my go-to for men over 50. It contains acetic acid, of course, but also trace minerals, enzymes, and polyphenols that support both digestion and testosterone balance. When your digestion improves, nutrients like zinc and magnesium, vital for blood vessel repair, get absorbed more efficiently. That's why a simple mix of apple cider vinegar in water before meals often leads to better circulation and better vitality. Next is red wine vinegar, a close second. This one shines because it's rich in resveratrol, the same heart protective compound found in red grapes. Resveratrol helps protect endothelial cells from damage, improving elasticity and reducing arterial stiffness. If you enjoy Mediterranean flavors, drizzle red wine vinegar over roasted vegetables or fish with olive oil. It's a perfect heart-supportive pairing that tastes amazing and fuels nitric oxide production. Balsamic vinegar, on the other hand, brings both benefits and cautions. Its dark, syrupy richness comes from concentrated grape must, which offers antioxidants, but it's also higher in natural sugars. A small amount can enhance flavor, but overdoing it may spike blood sugar and increase inflammation, especially in men with insulin resistance. I usually tell my patients, use balsamic for taste, not therapy. Just a teaspoon or two is plenty. White vinegar is the one most people have in their pantry, but for vascular health, it's not the best choice. It's highly acidic and lacks the beneficial polyphenols and minerals found in the more natural vinegars. It works fine for cleaning, but inside your body, it can be too harsh, irritating the stomach and contributing little to your nitric oxide pathways. If you have a sensitive digestive tract, steer clear. Finally, rice vinegar, mild, slightly sweet, and popular in Asian cooking, offers a middle ground. It's gentle on the stomach and supports digestion, but it's lower in antioxidant power. For men who find apple cider vinegar too strong, rice vinegar can be a good stepping stone. It's especially effective when combined with sesame oil or olive oil in light salads or stir-fries. So here's the bottom line. For most men, apple cider and red wine vinegars deliver the strongest benefits for circulation, hormone balance, and energy. Rotate them based on your meals, and you'll keep your vessels flexible and your metabolism steady. But remember, vinegar works best as part of a partnership, one that includes the healthy fat we discussed earlier. Now let's combine them the right way. Here's where it all comes together. The daily rhythm that turns theory into transformation. The right combination of olive oil and vinegar isn't just about what you use, but when and how you use it. Timing and balance matter because your body's chemistry shifts throughout the day. In the morning, your blood vessels are naturally tighter and your cortisol is higher. That's why starting your day with a simple activation ritual can make a noticeable difference in circulation and focus within the first week. Here's what I suggest. Before breakfast, mix 1 teaspoon of apple cider or red wine vinegar in a full glass of warm water. Sip it slowly, don't rush it. This wakes up your digestive system, supports your liver, and helps nitric oxide production ramp up early. Then, with breakfast or your first meal, add 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, maybe drizzled over eggs, oatmeal, or even a piece of whole grain toast. That little combination stabilizes blood sugar, lubricates your arteries, and gives your brain a cleaner, steadier source of energy. During the day, consistency matters more than volume. If you eat lunch, include a salad or cooked vegetables dressed with olive oil and a splash of vinegar. The acid in vinegar helps you absorb minerals like iron and magnesium, while the healthy fat from olive oil carries fat-soluble nutrients straight to your cells. Many of my patients notice their mid-afternoon fatigue fading once they make this small change. Evening is when blood flow often slows down again, especially after sitting for hours. That's your second opportunity. At dinner, drizzle olive oil over your meal, 1 to 2 tablespoons, and have a teaspoon of vinegar mixed in water about 15 minutes before you eat. It aids digestion, prevents blood sugar spikes, and primes your body for restful sleep. Within 7 to 10 days, you may start noticing subtle but powerful changes: warmer hands and feet, smoother blood pressure readings, deeper sleep, and even improved sexual performance. These are all signs your vessels are becoming more responsive again. For men who've struggled with cold limbs or fatigue for years, this simple protocol feels almost miraculous. But remember, it's not a quick fix. Your arteries are living tissue. They respond to steady care, not extremes. Pair this habit with hydration, daily movement, and fewer processed foods, and you'll be supporting your circulation at every level. I tell my patients all the time, your body still knows how to heal. It's just waiting for the right message. Vinegar and olive oil together deliver that signal. Yet there's one more element that determines whether these changes last for life. A mental shift that turns health from routine into renewal. And that's what we'll talk about next. It's never too late to restore your vitality. Your blood vessels are living tissue. They respond to every choice you make, no matter your age. Even the smallest daily habits, like adding a teaspoon of vinegar or a drizzle of olive oil, send powerful healing signals through your body. Forget perfection. Focus on progress. Every consistent step helps your circulation grow stronger, your energy steadier, and your mind sharper. I've seen men in their 70s regain the spark they thought was gone forever. Tell me in the comments, what's the first meal you'll add olive oil and vinegar to? If this helped you, share it with a friend, subscribe, and stay part of this growing community. Remember, your best years aren't behind you. They're ahead, filled with vitality, confidence, and strong, youthful blood flow.